Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel for a review of Hallmark's A Christmas Tree Grows in Colorado. Well, I did a video at the beginning of the season warning that Hallmark was promising to go woke, and here it is. How woke is this one? Not that much, but it's definitely got its eyes creeping up to be a little bit on the woke side. So before I get into all that icky stuff, let's do the review of the movie. It's a story about the daughter of the mayor, she's on the left, and how she needs a big Christmas tree for the Christmas tree the Christmas festival. And this fellow on the right, who plays a firefighter, just happens to have a gigantic Christmas tree styled tree in front of his house, and she decides through crazy circumstances that ensue that she wants to chop it down and put it in that town square section. And I think that's kind of really mean, and he does too. He doesn't want to give it up. So that's the plot. Romance ensues, etc. You know how it goes. He's a widower, and so he has a daughter. The daughter and the mayor's daughter get together and do the cooking and bonding and everything like they do in all the other movies. So where is the woke stuff? Well, I'm going to do the obvious one first, and then I'll come back to the you can't say that stuff. So let's get with the obvious one. So here's a Hallmark movie, and there's a scene where she's out to dinner with a coworker, and she thinks she's on a date, reasonably so. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, no. This is definitely not a date. And instead of saying you're not my type, I thought this was just business. No, he drops the woke line that I'm going to leave out. And not that there's anything wrong with that, if you take my meaning. Okay, so that wasn't exactly woke, but could have been worded differently, which makes it woke, because they smash you in the face with it. It's like, yeah, that's how you know you're in a woke picture as compared to a film that just happens to have these characters. And most of the movies this year that I've gotten to, and I've got a lot more to get to, have really been good about just having the characters be the characters. And that is so much more fun when it's story-based and it's like, or it's not relevant at all. Oh, no, but this one has to be relevant. And then he ends up hooking up with another person from the cast, and you're like, yeah, no, that's even more woke, because it's like, yeah, no, not that, whatever. Now, to the people that are of that ilk, they're like, oh yes, it could. I'm like, not with this, no, not the way it played out on this one, but whatever, to each their own. Okay, now, do we dare go to the forbidden discussion? Yeah, why not? All right. Now, I am not one who has to deal with this or experience it, but I've heard about it my whole life, thanks to Oprah and others. And that would be this. And if you want to put this in the category of woke, you can. If you want to put it into the category of, dude, that's just harsh. As you can see from the two main characters of the production, they got some seriously light skin. And what am I insinuating by that? I'm insinuating for the people who don't have light skin, and presumably, at least in the fellow's case, at least one white parent. Or grandma or grandpa, but probably either mom or dad. That the darker you are, the fewer roles you get. And Hallmark in going woke isn't really helping in that regard. Now, both of them have parents that are extremely dark, which, like in her case, I've heard from some folk. I worked with this one guy, and he was telling me, and he was very dark, and he goes, yeah, but my sisters are like cream colored, and it's like, it's really weird. I mean, we're all brothers and sisters, but some of us are really, really dark and some of us aren't. So I guess that happens. Go figure. When you look at English people, no, they all look English, and you look at French people, and they all look French, and Italians, they all look Italian. But apparently, some of the folk from Africa, they can create quite the color spectrum. So, kind of interesting variety. How cool. Whereas the guy on the right, he's I mean, you can tell both of them have the features of the European look, especially the one on the right. You know, because let's face it, he looks like Obama, at least from the side. And Obama had a white mama and was raised by his grandma, but that's for a different video. Anyways, so his daughter on the movie, you would not know that she is of African descent without having him be in the movie as the father. If you think Meghan Markle is pasty, you ain't seen nothing yet. So here's Hallmark trying to go all woke and trying to appease the SJWs, and they do it by hiring the fairest skin, Europeanish looking folk they can. If it makes them happy, it makes them happy. I don't care either way. I'm glad whoever gets work. Me personally, I'm still rooting for more American Indians to get work because Adam Beach is not enough. It would be nice to see more of them. And not from the point of view of, oh, I want to see myself on screen. I want to be represented. No, it's just, we just had Thanksgiving talking about the Pilgrims and the Indians and stuff like that. And rumor has it that, it was their country for a while. And clearly they would disagree as they had their own sections of the country. And it's like that documentary from the mid-90s with 500 nations. Well, 500 nations is not their country. That's 500 of their little countries. So it was no panacea back then. But my point being, we are constantly being shown in these movies blacks and whites as if that's it. And the color spectrum goes a little deeper than that. If you're going to pretend like you're trying to look like America, even though they're in Canada, if you're going to pretend that, then you need to pretend a little harder, and you need to have a lot more American Indians represented if you're going to play that game. I don't like that game at all. I think you should cast the role for who can act it best and fits the character best. Sorry, that means James Bond stays a white English male. Regardless of how well someone else can play it, no, the character is a white Englishman. So, yeah, as the old cliche goes, when you start showing us movies about Martin Luther King Jr. starring a redheaded white dude with buck teeth, then we'll talk about equality, or what's the new word? Equity in production. Yeah, until then, Okay, for those of you sticking around through the politics, is this movie worth watching? It's really one of the most mediocre ones, and that has nothing to do with any of the race or the woke stuff. It's not one of the stronger stories, which is, the Hallmark ones so far have been, at least getting to third base, if not home plate most of the time. This one is definitely you're stuck in midfield. It's okay. It's not bad. But wow, is it not that good either. And seriously, when they do the woke stuff at the end, it's like, ugh. Thank you for, Do you understand that there's not enough woke people to even make a difference in your ratings? And it's not like they watch it anyways. It's like in the old days with McDonald's french fries, when all those vegetarians complained about being beef tallow in the McDonald's french fries, as if they were eating at McDonald's in the first place. They were vegetarians. Ugh, whatever. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the future, and we'll see what the next one brings, because as I like to point out, I really like giving these good reviews because I love Christmas movies. But when they put the hanky-panky stuff in there, then there you go. See you in the future.